I remember sitting at a table in Charter Hall in 1975, and we had the church council meeting. We were sitting in a circle, and it was my very first confirmation class. I've mentioned this before, and then we had the kids come, and they had to come before the council, and they had to tell us who their favorite biblical figure was. And Jimmy was last, and I said, well, Jim, who was your favorite disciple or biblical figure? And he said, Doubting Thomas. And these kids had just started their freshman year in high school. And of course, I had one council member that said, well, how can that be? I'm not going to confirm you. They were just kind of laughing. But Jimmy said, the reason he is because Thomas had the courage to be honest about his doubts. And I hope I can always be that way. All those kids are now in their 60s. The passage of time since 1975. You know, I used to think that faith and doubt were opposites. That if you really, really believe in God and believe in Jesus or believe in somebody, you never, ever doubt. And then one of my gentle professors reminded me, Don, if you're a person who believes with passion, if you're a person that believes with your faith or in other people from the very heart and soul of who you are, then occasionally you're going to doubt, because that's the way we are. And he said the opposite of love is not hate. The opposite of love is indifference. And the opposite of faith is not doubt. Doubt is a consequence of the risk of faith. Because sometimes believing with all your heart and all your soul is risky business. It's interesting, you know, Thomas, the disciple, spent 3 years with Jesus. They were with him every single day and every single night for 3 years. And he heard what Jesus said, and he saw Jesus heal, and he heard Jesus talk about the fact that someday he was going to have to die, but he would rise again from the dead. And then when it's crunch time, Thomas wavers. And at the end, Jesus says, Thomas, you believe now because you see me. Blessed are those who believe who do not see me. I've been thinking about that. This morning, I had a lot of people on my mind and in my heart. And I needed a good sunrise this morning. You know, I just wanted to just see the sun come up and maybe take a picture and talk about the sunrise. And I'll talk about it anyway. But I drove by Tampier Lake and the sunrise was not there. And as I got to the church, I kept looking across LaGrange Road and just kind of hoping, and the sunrise was not there. And then I realized, of course, as we all do, that the sun had risen. It was a little cloudy. But even though you can't see the sun, you know it's there because it's always there. And I realized, too, that sometimes we know that God is invisible. We don't see Jesus like the disciples saw Jesus. But even though we can't see it, we believe it because the sun has risen. I can't speak for you, but most of my doubts are not about God. They're not about Jesus. Most of my doubts are about myself. You know, I'm not sure all the stuff you believe in, but I believe so much in the power of prayer. I believe so much in the power of kindness. I believe that love is the most powerful force in the world. But there are times when I waver, and I sometimes doubt. And I wonder if I'm faithful enough. Am I worthy enough? Am I good enough? But part of the journey of being human is to be honest about the doubts that we have. And know there are all kinds of ways in which the risen Lord comes to us. This morning I see that bucket of flowers, and I'm reminded of Frankie Freck. She had an incredible journey with cancer and being in a wheelchair, and she died at the age of 60. It was interesting because she was born on April Fool's Day, and she died on Christmas Day. So you know there's got to be something special about that. But when I think of her, and I think of the flowers, and I think of the journey, and I think of the way she treated her family, when I think of her brother, and I think of her sons who are probably watching us right now, I realize that when you share a journey like that, that's where the risen Lord lives. And that's where the sun rises. And that's where we see faith come alive. And we get courage from the journey of other people. I wasn't planning on it this morning, but I have to mention Linda Roos today. Most of you know Linda or have seen her. She sits in the first or second row right here on this side, and a lot of times with Craig if he's not working on Sunday. Linda has had a journey with cancer that is absolutely beyond belief. What she does. And the first time you call her or you ask her something, she said, "What can I do for you?" And I said, "No, Linda, what can we do for you?" "Oh, no. But she texted me this morning and said, "I can't be at church today because I had a procedure and I'm in a lot of pain." And, Linda, your spirit is incredibly amazing. And despite the fact that it's taken such a toll on you physically, spiritually, somehow you managed to stay so vibrant and so alive. It would be easy to doubt in a journey like that. And when you see somebody you love, you know what it's like. When you see somebody you love struggle and hurt, you know what it's like. It takes something out of you. But somehow, some way, because we know that the sun has risen, we get through that journey and we receive strength from one another. When we are honored to be a part of somebody else's journey, the good stuff and the tough stuff and everything in between, that is where we see the risen Lord. Amen. If you're able to, please rise for the creed.